I heard of an interesting urban legend recently. During the 80s, a mysterious video game started popping up around arcades all around Portland. Although there isn't a lot of recorded information on the specifics of the gameplay, it's largely described as a first-person shooter game, a very intense one, and it's called Polybius. Hi. Good, how are you?
Good.
Can I get just $10 on one of these? I have 4 of them.
Do you want to combine them?
Yeah, actually, that'd be great.
Although the game was a black sheep in the sense that it didn't fit in with the classic arcade game marketing with bright lights and digital sound effects, its unbranded and unassuming nature didn't dissuade people from playing. Quite the opposite, actually. People couldn't get enough of it, lining up all over the place to play the game and seeking it out around the city. So much so that there are records of people going crazy, like actual psychosis crazy, over it.
Which is an interesting story and all, but it really doesn't have anything to do with what we're going to be talking about today. I just thought it was kind of a really interesting embodiment of how on edge and on the brink of a mental breakdown most of the Portland people are. It's really all it takes is an arcade game to do them in.
Which got me wondering, why of all places was Portland, Oregon the origin of an urban legend that had people going mad, going crazy over an arcade game that didn't even seem that special? And truthfully, I could only come up with one answer. On average, it rains 164 days a year in Portland. I have a theory that there's actually a direct correlation between time spent under a gray cloud and between the chances that an arcade game will induce psychosis. But you know what they say, April showers, and so did March, and February, and January, and December, and we're all sick of these damn showers. So when the sun finally does make an appearance around here, you don't want to miss it, especially on a 70-degree Saturday in April. So today, I'm off to the park to be reminded that maybe the only benefit of having 7 months of rain is that it makes for 5 months of prime people watching. It was just as I imagined it to be. What once were muddy slopes only 2 weeks ago were now grassy hills filled with some of the palest people I had ever seen, and I thought I would have no problem blending in. Everyone was grouped together discussing their most recent taxidermy projects, interesting progressive literature, and witchcraft, and seemed happy to be on the other side of a very gray winter. And I felt like I might be the only one still feeling a little bit anxious, and I couldn't figure out why.
I had 2 fully caffeinated yerba mates before this today, and I was expecting to have the shakes, but I don't. And so I'm kind of starting to believe that maybe I have a caffeine issue, which is not something I'm going to address right now.
My head was spinning in more than one way. It seemed that I had almost forgotten what it was like to exist in a space where there is no structured activity. For the past 7 months, I'd only left my house to sit at a restaurant and eat food with other people eating food, or go to the arcade and play games alongside other people playing games, or go to the grocery store and buy toilet paper and Pop-Tarts among other people who were also buying toilet paper and Pop-Tarts. It was weird to exist in a third space that didn't have any defined rules, other than to pick up your dog's shit, and your own shit for that matter. I felt overcaffeinated and awkward, sitting by myself in the park, as if I was doing it wrong in some way, and even worse, that people could tell. God, I hope people didn't pick up a hobby learning how to read minds over the winter. But the longer I sat, the more I realized that no one was actually looking at me, because they were too busy indulging in their own vices. No, actually people weren't looking at me at all. Instead, they were anxiously watching the rookie fire dancer perform next to the papier-mâché crafting group. But it seemed as if they took the courtesy of practicing with silks this time. Thank God. Or eagerly watching the slackliners get progressively drunker as they tried to balance on their suspended rope. And probably patiently watching the throuple next to me try to keep their 2 dogs and 5 screaming kids in order, with threats of leaving the park early if, quote, all you damn bastards won't behave yourselves, end quote. I don't remember the last time I saw this many babies and dogs. It's been a while. You know, I've been a baby before, and I don't think I would do it again. You know, there's like obviously the draw of like no responsibilities. You don't have to worry about tax season. But like, you shit in your pants like all the time, which would suck. Like, I don't remember the last time I shit in my pants. Well, actually, now that you got me talking about it, but I do wonder what it would be like to be a dog. Like, I wonder, like, what kind of dog I would be, like, what kind of breed, you know? And it's actually kind of one of my favorite questions to ask people because it really gives you insight on how the person thinks about themselves, you know? And plus, I know more dog breeds, I think, than most people, and I don't usually get to flex that, and so whenever I have the opportunity to, it feels pretty good. I think I'd probably be a greyhound for a couple of reasons. One, they're very tall, they're very athletic, but they're a little bit nervous and weird, you know? I also think that they're pretty, but nervous and weird, athletic. People always think that I'm gonna say poodle, and I'm not really sure why. I have to get out of the sun. I was invisible in this unorganized celebration of the return of the sun in a sea full of sunbathing weirdos.
Thank you.
But luckily, I had Nate to join me in that invisibility. To see so many people going about their lives in so many different ways in the same space after 7 months of darkness really pulls your head out of your own ass. And it made me really regret backing out of wearing my more frivolous outfit choice, which I left to sun dry at home.